In a nameless, perpetually rainy city, crime is part of everyday life. Amid this darkness, an aging detective named Samuel Harper is spending his final days on the force. A man weary of humanity's ugliness, on the verge of retirement, ready to escape a world that has long lost its innocence. But the arrival of a newcomer changes everything. Jack Daniels, a young, restless, idealistic detective, has recently moved to the city with his wife, Lena. A man who still believes in justice, yet is about to lose his faith in the heart of darkness. Their first case together is horrifying. In a shabby apartment, an overweight man is found face first in a plate of food. The autopsy reveals he was forced to eat himself to death. On the wall, written in food remains, are the words, "Gluttony." Hours later, a second murder occurs. A wealthy, arrogant criminal lawyer is killed in his office. On the floor, written in his blood, "Greed." The killer forced him to cut a part of his own body, punishment for his insatiable greed. Samuel quickly realizes these murders are not random. A killer is in the city, choosing victims based on the 7 deadly sins. His method is precise, logical, and inspired by a dark philosophy. In the overweight man's apartment, Samuel finds a fragment of Paradise Lost, a clue to a meticulous and obsessive mind. He warns Jack that they are facing an enemy guided not by madness, but by cold, twisted logic. The killer introduces his third victim. In an abandoned apartment, a gaunt, emaciated man is strapped to a bed, a drug dealer and child abuser. He has been kept alive for a year to rot in torment. On the wall, sloth. Meanwhile, Jack's personal life begins to crumble. His wife, Lena, is tired of the city and its darkness. In a meeting with Samuel, she confesses she is pregnant, but fears telling Jack. Samuel, who once lost love and fatherhood, sadly tells her, "If you decide to keep the baby, tell him. If not, never tell him you were ever pregnant." The clues lead Samuel and Jack to a library and a list of people who have studied books on sin and theology. Among them, one name stands out: John Doe. When they reach his apartment, they face a calm, clean, and unknown man. John Doe attacks them with a gun and escapes. During the chase, Jack falls down a fire escape, injuring his arm, yet the killer strangely spares his life. Inside John Doe's house, hundreds of notebooks are found, filled with religious quotes, hatred, and twisted analyses of human morality and faith. And this is just the beginning of the horror. The next murder represents lust. A man is forced to kill a prostitute with a horrific device. The following day, they arrive at a scene of unimaginable terror. A beautiful model, disfigured, forced to choose between a crippled life or death. She chose pride. Suddenly, everything stops. John Doe turns himself in to the police. His hands are bloody, but calm, with a smile on his face. He says he is willing to confess to all murders, but only if Samuel and Jack accompany him to his final victims. Along the way, John Doe speaks of his twisted logic. He believes the world is corrupt, full of sinners unworthy of life. He claims God has chosen him to deliver justice. In his eyes, there is not madness, but a dark and dangerous faith. In the desert outside the city, a postal van arrives. Inside the box lies something horrifying. Samuel steps back in shock, screaming at Jack to lower his gun, but it is too late. John Doe calmly says, "My sin was envy, envy of your life and your wife, and now you, Jack, you will commit the sin of wrath." Inside the box is Lena's severed head. Jack collapses, screaming and crying. Samuel pleads with him not to shoot. but the trigger is pulled and the killer's plan is complete. The world falls silent again. Samuel concludes, Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a good place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part,